discuss about Python. And if you know the basic concepts of C++ and Java, the Python can be easily understand. Now here in Python compared to the C++ and Java, that is basically, if you want to run the program, we have to compile the program, and the program has to be converted into machine code. Then the code will be executed on the system. Okay. Whereas Python is basically interpreted language. So it is not a compiler-oriented language, whereas it is an interpreted language. What is called as an interpreted language? So interpreted language means it can easily understand the commands, and it will execute it, and it will immediately give you the result. So it can be used as a calculator also. So for Python, basically, we use a concept called a interpreter. It's a kind of a software that we use, which uses which executes the interpreted language. So Python is basically an interpreted language which does not need a compilation into binary program as directly from the source code. So internally, what the Python does, it converts the source code into an intermediate form bytecodes and translate this into a kind of a machine language which a machine can understand and run the program. And also, we have interpreter. Interpreter is the kind of a software that runs the Python commands. So, as I told you, no, you need not to compile the program, and no, that means you need not write the complete program and do the compilation and run the program. It just we can know as a interpreter, it's have an ability to interpret every command that we give. Probably if you give the a is equal to 5 and b is equal to 10, and you say what is a plus b, it will give us 15. So it like a calculator, we can do any operations with single commands using the interpreter. So what basically the interpreter does? So the interpreter basically it receives a command from the user, and also it evaluates the command, then also gives the result of that command as well. So everything will happen in one shot. We can do it. You need not write a complete code for it. That's a very good advantage of this interpreter. And yes, of course, there are some IDEs are supported here for running the Python program. So the IDEs like IDLE, which is basically available with the basic Python version, and there is ID called Sublime Text, Atom, Tony, PyCharm, Visual Studio Code, and Vim, and also Spider, and even more. If you look into it, there are kind of a Jupyter notebook, like that. Many other, even Anaconda, like that. Many other IDs are available. So depends on the requirement, whichever we can use it. So now here we will see, we will use this IDLE, that idle IDE, to understand how the Python is working as an interpreted language. So here we have the IDE. So let me say I just put up here A is equal to 5 and B is equal to 10, and if I ask what is A plus B, it will give me 15. Even if I ask what is A, that also will give B. Then B is equal to 10. Even we can use a kind of a list like this, where we can specify like whatever the character that you want, tomato, potato, like that, potato, like that. We can use a list, and if we ask now what is A, so it will say the list is kind of tomato, potato, those list kind of thing will be given. So even we can use the print command also directly here. So print within a bracket whatever the string, got it. Uh, we live in India. So like that we can give a command and we ask it to print. It will print we live in India. Okay. So also we can just type in whichever whatever the character that we want we can do it. Okay. So we can say Python is object oriented programming. And what do I do? I just put it into the next line. I'm sorry, it has come to the this one. It's printed actually. Python is a object-oriented programming. And what we can do, we can put it into three codes. And also, uh, if you put it in the next line, so this will also get printed over here. Okay, so we can do it in any way, and when you put it in the next line it will get printed actually in the next line, since it is a kind of a interpreter. Immediately it interprets and it is giving the details over here. Okay, so the concept here is Python is an interpreted language, so we need not write a complete program for the program to get compiled and executing. Even you can do that if you want to know some of the programs. You can write the program and get the output, nothing wrong. But being an interpreted program, it can evaluate every command and it can give the result of the commands immediately.